everyone, Jaimunji here, and that is right. Lord of the Lost have surprised us all and released an album. Now, they did give us a little bit of warning. On the 24th of this month, they released Blood and Glitter, the new single, also the title of the album. Now, no one knew this was coming, besides the band, of course. I was pleasantly surprised. Blood and Glitter has already shown up to one of my favorite songs of the year. There's just a lot of different energy in that song. Not what I was expecting, but then again, with the Lord of the Lost albums, I've listened to them in order. The next album's never like the previous album, and that is great. I always think it's interesting when bands evolve. I don't understand why some bands have just always stayed the same. I guess sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but there is nothing wrong with experimentation, and Lord of the Lost do it perfectly. This album will not disappoint. Now, I probably will fumble over my words a little bit. It is very, very late here in Australia. I had to stay up and listen to it, and I just wanted to give you my review while it's fresh in my head. This album is, the best way to describe it is it's huge riffs, soaring vocals, crushing screams, all wrapped up in this beautiful 80s retro synth vibe with a bit of a sci-fi element to it. I really, really love it. It's exactly what I needed. I guess that's the best way to describe this album. It's what I need in my life at the moment, and this is what I'm really, really enjoying. There's a personal level to all the songs. I can't wait to read all the lyrics, because there were some there I listened to, I'm like, oh, I think there's a pretty deep meaning to this, but I didn't want to jump in and really kind of, tear it apart just yet. I'm going to let it sink. I'll go to bed, I'll wake up, I'll listen to the album again in the morning. I've listened to it 3 times, by the way. I honestly couldn't get enough. There's a few surprising things on this one. Leave your hate in the comments. Might be the heaviest song on the album, but the riff, you'll understand as soon as you hear it. That intro riff, it's just big and powerful and crushing. It's going to be a perfect song to play at festivals or when they're opening for Iron Maiden on that arena tour, because that song just screams. Huge sound system. Everyone's going pumping their fist. There's a lot of energy in that song. Speaking of energy, the songs like The Future of a Past Life featuring Marcus from Heaven Shall Burn, they trade off. Chris gives up the screaming role in this song. It actually fits really well. Chris and Marcus's voice actually blended. I wasn't sure how it was going to sound, but this song's surprisingly good. You got Chris doing half the verse, Marcus doing the other half. They kind of both attack the chorus. It's really interesting. I really can't describe this song other than powerful. It is a powerful song. Definitely one of my favorites from the album. And it's not just all heavy. Songs like Save Our Soul and Dead End are absolutely fantastic. Brilliant choruses on both of these songs. In fact, Save Our Souls might be my favorite Lord of the Lost chorus. I don't know, it's still fresh in my head, but trust me, go listen to it. Very easy to sing along to. The synths in it, in particular, really shine through in the chorus that make Chris's vocals pop even more, if you can imagine that. It's quite special, and that's something I've got to say as well in this album. The synths on almost every single track are just fantastic. They found a way to really make it work. Dead End is another example of that. Fantastic synth work. Really just brings it all together. Like I said, it's got that 80s sci-fi vibe. If this would be the music the cool kids would listen to in the Blade Runner universe, to give you a bit of an idea. I dig it. I always like that stuff, cyberpunk music. It's cool, but it's still got that 80s vibe to it, which I really appreciate, and it doesn't feel dated. It still feels very modern, even though it's got all those old sounds. And I think of the 80s now, and it's weird to think the 80s was over 30 years ago. I don't like it. I was born in the 80s. I don't like to think that was over 30 years ago, but here we are. Dead End as well, around the 3-minute mark. Chris really extends his vocal range. Brilliant high note with a lot of emotion and gravel in his voice. Leaving the Planet Earth is another one of those really cool 80s sci-fi intros. This one's one of the softer songs on the album. I had no idea. I thought it might have been a heavy one just by the title, but emotional. I'm not going to tell you too much about this one yet, but the lyrics to this one, Chris talks about being tired, everything. I'd love to know the meaning behind this one in particular. I think this is the first one when the lyrics pop up online I'm actually going to dissect. Now, one last song as well. Now, I wasn't going to do a track-by-track review, that's why I've skipped some stuff, but honestly, guys, none of these tracks are worth skipping. Everything is special in its own way. In fact, I didn't get bored all my way through the album. The album's nearly an hour long. Wasn't bored with it at all. It actually kept my attention full time, which is hard for me because I get distracted, want to play on my phone. I sat in front of the computer, headset on, and just looked at the screen and listened to the music. It's honestly a journey, which why I'm saying this really caps off with one last song. This song is, I don't know, it feels like it's for the fans. It's an anthem. This is the anthem Lord of the Lost, I think, never knew they needed, but it is there. I think this is one that's going to unite the fan base. Everyone's going to want to sing this one along. They're all going to feel something. We're all going to feel connected through this song. At least that's how I feel. And then it wraps up. He goes, if I could sing you one last song. And then it goes into the cover of the look. I don't know if he did that on purpose. I'm assuming he did, because they're a bit cheeky like that, those boys. Fantastic cover. You're not going to be disappointed at all. I'm going to wrap this up because I can feel myself nodding off. I was just so excited. I needed to get this out, guys. I can't wait to see you at Vaca next year. This was a 10 out of 10 album. Easily top 3 album of the year. Might be number 1. I'm having that video come out soon. I'm going to sit for a few days with the album, listen to it a few more times, but honestly, I couldn't have been happier with it. A lot of the times when bands I love put out new releases, I overhype them in my head and they never meet that expectation. Some of my favorite bands of all time, they just don't meet that expectation. This one blew it out of the water. I just couldn't believe it. So guys, buy it, stream it, do whatever you can to support the band. They deserve it. They're hardworking. They're talented. This is why Iron Maiden brings them out on tours. This is why Steve Harris likes them. Like, it shows. The music is unique by some very talented people. And they're all sweethearts. If you follow the band, you know that. Anyway, I'll stop mumbling, guys. Thank you once again for the music. I appreciate the hell out of it. I hope you all enjoyed. I can't wait for you all to listen. Once you do, leave in the comments what your favorite songs are. I don't know. I couldn't pick a favorite song. Blood and Glitter. Leave your hate in the comments. The Future of Past Life. Dead Ends. Save Our Souls. One Last Song. They're all fantastic. Like, everything's fantastic. And there's a different song for every mood. You're going to enjoy. I'm going to shut up. Hopefully it's out in your country right now and you can go listen to it. I'm lucky I'm in Australia, so stuff normally comes out here first. That'll be it for me. I've been Jaimunji, and you all have a good one.